In this video, you will learn how to translate word phrases into math notation. So first, we're going to begin with addition. So with addition, there are multiple phrases that all mean to add something together. So for example, the first phrase would be the word add. So in English, I might say 4 added to 7. So to write this in math notation, I would say 4 plus 7. Another word that we can use is the word plus. So if I said 4 plus 7, you would write that as 4 plus 7. Another word is the word sum. If I said write the sum of 4 and 7, I would express that as 4 plus 7. Next we have the phrase more than. So if I said 7 more than 4, I take 4 and add 7. So 4 plus 7. Another phrase would be increased by. So if I were to say 4 increased by 7, that means I take 4 and add 7. Next we have subtraction phrases. So for subtraction, the first word would be the word subtract. So if I were to say 4 subtracted by 7, I would write that as 4 minus 7. The next word would be the word minus. If I said 4 minus 7, I would write that as 4 minus 7. Next we have the word difference. So in English, we might say the difference of 4 and 7, and we would express that as 4 minus 7. The next phrase is the phrase less than. And this one be careful with, because many times people will subtract the wrong numbers. So instead of, so if you're given 7 less than 4, in this case you would start with the 4 and then minus 7. The mistake is many times people will see this and they'll take the 7 and then subtract 4 from the 7, which is not the case. We take the 4 and then 7 less than that means you're subtracting the 7. So 4 minus 7. The next phrase is decrease by. If I said 4 decrease by 7, that means I take 4 and then subtract 7. So 4 minus 7. Next we have multiplication. So a phrase that means multiply would be the word multiply. So if I said 4 multiplied by 7, in math we would write that as 4 times 7. The next word is the word times. If I said 4 times 7, that means I take 4 and then multiply it by 7. The next word is the word product. So if I say the product of 4 and 7, that means I take 4 and multiply it by 7. Another phrase would be the word twice. So twice means multiply something by 2. So if I said twice 4, that means 4 times 2. Another word is double. If I said double 4, that means I take 4 and multiply it by 2. Next we have division. With division, the first word that we have is the word divide. So if I said 8 divided by 2, that means I take 8 and divide it by 2. The next word is the word quotient. So if I were to say the quotient of 8 and 2, that means 8 divided by 2. Another phrase is ratio of. So if I were to say the ratio of 8 and 2, that means I take 8 and divide it by 2. Another phrase or word would be the word halved. If I were to say take half of 8, that means that I take 8 and divide it by 2. Now with all of these division problems, I could also write this as a fraction. So I could have written all of this as 8 over 2, because a fraction means division. So that is the same thing as 8 divided by 2.